Oh, folks, out there in Zoomlandia, I want to thank you for coming to my almost 80 birthday party. I'll be 80 in July 25th, but here, start a little bit early. I am so grateful to be here with my dear friend Carlos Reyes. What can I say about him? He talks about he was born in Paraguay, but I really believe he comes from a different set of something in the cosmos. So he has the Carlos Ismo that nobody else has got but him. If you've never heard Carlos Reyes before, beware with the things you might fall over from shock or what have you, because he's going to do something magical to your soul. But once again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Eric Whittington and Bird and Beckett and Angie Bennett, who's helping with the sound, and Edward Pollard, who got me here. My friend Bob Shung, brother from another mother, who is doing the videography, and you for tuning in with us. And tell everybody else to put their Zoom on, because we plan to sort of give you some fire. So with that, Carlos. Once upon a time, in a not too far away land, a land I used to know, there were still a few weird adults around who weren't afraid to dream, a land where every child believed the world was full of miracles and magic, a world where fairies ruled and wishes came true, an enchanting place where amusement didn't cost a cent. A world full of fun and games that most parents didn't allow themselves to remember. It wasn't too long ago that John Henry and dancing dragons and La Llorona were everywhere, and El Cuco and mermaids hid under the boardwalk at every beach. Brer Rabbit, Jab Jab, Wicked John, and unicorns were as common as the name of Stagger Lee in a game of marbles. Those were the good days. Days when our families lived in a world where the moon followed us home and spent the night right outside our window and telephones laid eggs. I say, then comes the day when time steals a child in our children, erases the playful innocence of their imaginations, and returns them unidentifiable. Our kids come home devoid of any hint of enchantment. So unbelievably tainted and sophisticatedly streetwise, they rise above any memory of the good old days when mystery lived under every rock. And we come home, we come home with spitting nails, exhausted and feeling evil from days working like dogs for unappreciative bosses. We walk through those doors so tired and half crazy from working in jobs we probably can no longer stand, that we forget to tell the tales about the many sweet kitchen angels who used to sneak around sprinkling all kinds of good tasting stuff in mama's pots. Time. Time is a heartless babysitter, and gone are the days when a little tiny hug or some fantastic tall story would turn on the fire in our children's smiles. Gone is the inexpensive, mysterious peace of nights when our children felt safe because they knew the stars were the protective eyes of the sky, and the sun only got up in the morning to let the moon get some sleep and give the night sky a little time to rest. Way back in the days before life lost its magic and our faith in the strength of our love was the only real thing keeping us alive. I say, once upon a time in a not too far away land, a land I used to know, there were still a few weird adults and children around who actually liked each other and weren't afraid to have fun and dream. Not so long ago, before time had the time to steal all the magic, and life took the fast road and spent a lot of time running around corrupting minds and eating souls, before the call of the streets sounded sweeter than a legacy of our lullabies, gobbled up our families, chewed them up, and spit out something unrecognizable. I say, it was not so long ago before we allowed time to steal our minds and forgot about all those good times, those happy times before old Wile E. Coyote got out-slicked by some smooth-talking microwave mama, forgot who he was and misplaced all his tricks. Days long before we stopped looking at each other and we stopped talking to each other, and the moon followed us all the way home, and telephones laid eggs. Have mercy. Carlos Reyes. Wow. You know, I actually convinced my daughters when they were babies that telephones laid eggs. And so they would leave them alone when the telephone was pregnant, and they couldn't touch the phone because she was busy trying to lay eggs. But anyway, that didn't last very long. They got wise to me. So let's go down to the Delta. Folks who know me know I love the country blues. They came on foot. I said they came on foot, by car, riding hope, on horseback, by train, on the plane. They came wearing faith, pockets full of dreams, running from cotton fields and chopping cane. They came running, knowing better was waiting, carrying their whole lives in paper bags, carrying guitars on their back, saddles full of tall tales and blue songs of a home they knew they'd always miss, but swore they'd never go back to. They came by ship discharged. Scars, wounds no time could heal. Released from military hospitals on West Coast shores they'd never even seen. Battle fatigue, confused, feeling used, and they came in droves from the wars. Shell-shocked and tired, looking for a home. And when they didn't find it, they built it. On any night in West Oakland, you might run into migrant workers straight out the cotton fields of Georgia, strutting their stuff and partying and bumping and grinding alongside of armies of ditch diggers, prayed people, and unemployed PhDs who were never told they were unemployable. Saints and sinners from Texas and Mississippi, from Arkansas and Virginia, Maryland, the Carolinas, even the West Indies, all dancing away their rage and sadness hidden behind memories of clouds of cotton and buried beneath too many mounds of sugarcane, tobacco leaves, a frustrated fury gladly forgotten and left behind a rotting, deserted plantation fields. And you could hear the relief in the clubs as Big Mama Thornton took her crown and gave Oakland everything. I say the woman gave us everything she wasn't allowed to give in the South. John Lee Hooker. See, John Lee Hooker brought the boogie out the Delta. And Bob Geddes, Ivy Joe Hunter, and Charles Brown gave us smooth. You go right down the street, get yourself some of Beverly Stovall, Sonny Rose, Jimmy McCracklin, J.J. Malone, or the sophisticated sweetness of Jimmy Witherspoon. Or the raw passion of L.C. Good Rock and Rollins' blues violin will get your insides ripped out and put back together again as Etta James and Sugar Pie DeSanto tore the roof off the house. The blues didn't just slip into the Bay Area like a cloud burst. The blues came in waves, powerful waves, waves as subtle as a tidal wave and as powerful as a painlessly pregnant woman in hard labor. The blues came in oversized, raggedy overalls, sometimes sporting evening gowns and three-piece suits. It came furious, jubilant, overworked and underpaid, running from the Klan, holding on to everything they had, while others are just looking for something to hold on to. I said the blues came west looking for freedom land. L.A., Sacramento, and San Francisco at that big city thing. Folks rocked in Russell City. Vallejo had a scene. Richmond had a kind of smooth Chi-Town sounding thing. But if you wanted a gut-wrenching, soul-taking, down-home blues, the kind your mama and the church warned you about, I say they warned you about the kind of blues that made your hair stand on end and snatch you out of chairs and made you shout, act, and jump, act a fool and dance, that good old makes you want to holler kind of blues, you have to come to Oakland. Oakland, the blues mecca of the West Coast. Scene was as wild and sophisticated as you were. Every place a different personality, and every night was party night, where you could romance and grind or whine and cry about what you didn't have, or brag and be loud and proud and show off everything you did have, and talk about everything you wanted to be at Slim Jenkins Club, Esther's Orbit Room, Ruthie's Inn, or Eli's Mile High. Every night an exorcism where another demon was put to rest, where you're free to be real or be downright nasty. You can show your stuff to your wet with sweat, the Rum Bookie, Christie's Grill, the Palladium Club, and all the nameless hidden round the clock juke joints, and the blues came down like rain, fell down on everything, fell down on Oakland where blues was king, and they say they came. I say they came and knocked down the cafes, they came and tore up 7th Street, they closed the clubs, promised jobs in the schools to uplift and save, then they took the hood and left a wasteland full of restless spirits, ghosts running loose, and plenty of reasons to sing the blues. But when everyone else goes to sleep, you can still hear them. I say J.C. Burris, Dottie Ivory, Z.Z. Hill, Mississippi Johnny Waters, hear them singing their sounds written all over every building. It seeps up out of the ground, you walk on it, it's yours. Little Johnny Taylor, Johnny Horson, Percy Mayfield, listen, they tried to free it, they tried to hear their blues so strong, even Willie Bobo was singing Never Go Back to Georgia. Buddy Ace, Little Willie John, Cool Papa Sadler, Brownie McGree, Lady Margaret, Lord Folsom, they'll always be here. They refuse to disappear. Nothing can stop it. Gentrifiers can't block it. The same folks that dance from the blues scene into the mambo sessions at back at the California Hotel now run to Dorsey's Locker. Bluesville, Sweet Jimmy's and the Fifth Amendment. The same people and their children are bringing in the new. Queen Ida came two-stepping out the bayou leading the Zydeco parade, and Sugar Pie DeSanto and Giant Lee who can never grow old. And still right on top of all total polis, Lady Bianca and Jesse James, E.C. Scott, Al Vaughn, Sister Monica, Bobby Whip, Gwenny Avery, Little Frankie Lee and Billy Dunn, Wally Trask, Faye Carroll, Willie G, Frankie Kelly, Johnny Talbot, and Ronnie Stewart leading the caravan of all-stars into tomorrow. It's in the air we breathe. I say it's in the air we breathe, and it just keeps on coming and coming and coming and coming, and nothing, I say nothing and nobody can stop it. Other folks can keep their big heads stuck way up in the clouds, but when it all comes back down to earth, the prize is ours. I say the prize is ours, and it's our jewel. It's still coming down. Oaktown Blue. Play the blues. All right.
Yeah.
Oaktown Blue. Now, Carlos is going to take us down into South America and give us a little joropo. And if you've never heard this rhythm, we did a radio program the other day, and he played a tune where he does it, and half the Bay Area is calling, crying, and talking about, I remember my mom and my granddaddy. But anyway, nobody does it quite like him. Carlos Reyes, what you got for us, my friend?
Well, if I may say, this is a traditional rhythm from my mother's side of the world, of Colombia, and also Venezuela. From the highlands there, it's called a joropo, is the rhythm. The song I wrote for my mother and a good friend of mine, it's called Joropo Ortiz.
Eso sí. Ooh, have mercy.
Gracias, gracias.
Have mercy. From the planet of Carlosismo, that new world that you must, when you get this, the space travel, we all have to visit that planet, because I know it's not from anywhere around here. if you do your history lessons and you go way, 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 way back, right after slavery, in Argentina, there was a black dance craze. We call it tango. Tango is a word that comes from the Congo Delta. So this is a homage to those beautiful folks. It's called Obligado en Argentina, recordando la majestad de tango, or navel to navel in Argentina, remembering the majesty of tango. Why don't you give us a little solo on here and we go for it. Obligado en Argentina. Yo recuerdo la danza mística y la música sensual y el sabor a cuerpo sudoroso, el ambiente de nuestro orgullo arrogante, creatividad completa desenfrenada. Fuimos guapachosos, bailando negro, bailadores negros, celebrándonos en templos del solar. Yo recordando los días estáticos, bailando contigo, libre, auténtica, una clave de nadie, tú y yo. Una pareja conectada eternamente, bailando obligado. Un exorcismo a pesar de una sombra de la esclavitud, colmada de una libertad inconquistada, bailando, adueñarse de fiebre apasionada, frenéticamente, pero suave y sin vergüenza, remembering those far away days. Like a flood of memories and a waterfall of truth. Memories tearing up the silence of historical lies. Unforgettable days that haunt me. Echoes of painful sadnesses. I remember those bloody days and our Africanizing nights in secret sanctuaries. Undercover happiness, forbidden joy, dancing navel to navel. Dancing in safe havens covered with tears. I remember the dusty, muddy dirt of our dance floors and the price we paid for the right to dance. I remember the magic of those nights full of stars, completely drunk on dance. Sacred memories of an unforgettable legacy, you and I. You and I, two rhythmic volcanoes, two dark rebels, two black spirits older than time, dancing navel to navel, our holy ritual against the divine law of the lawless. And I remember you in those days, dancing like we were out of our minds in the alleys. Dancing, 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 proud disciples of the church of dancing, navel to navel, right in the face of the evil ghosts of slavery, dancing with you and your bigger than life spirit, you and I, we were one body, one heart, one inseparable soul, you and I, bathing in the moonlight, one unconquered couple, together, forever and ever, dancing, 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 navel to navel in Argentina. Te recuerdo, tú y yo, tú y yo, tú y yo, tú y estos días bailando como locos en los callejones, discípulos atrevidos a ir a la iglesia, de bailando obligado a pesar de una fantasma endiablada de la esclavitud, bailando contigo y tu espíritu inmortal, tú y yo, tú y yo fuimos uno, un cuerpo, un corazón, un alma inseparable, tú y yo, purificándonos en la luna, una pareja inconquistada, tú y yo, Comay, tú y yo, purificándonos en la luna, una pareja inconquistada, tú y yo, purificándonos en la luna. Juntos en espíritu para siempre jamás, bailando y bailando y bailando y bailando obligado en Argentina. Woo, eso. Have mercy. Have mercy.
Gracias.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What can I say? Carlos Reyes. You're absolutely awesome. You know, I want to do this for one of my favorite families on planet Earth. There's a dance legacy on la Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico, called La Bomba, and we don't have any barriles here, but I want to pay tribute to La Familia Cepeda, who they've been keeping it alive 7 generations. So this is for them. It's called Palo Bomberos. Palo Bomberos. Un regalito para la familia Cepeda. Tutun. Con una nota cósmica cantando en el viento la esencia de tu presencia. Me encanta. Tu legado, un espíritu indominable me cura. Tus ritmos inolvidables me persiguen. Y como una caricia de melodía es tu bomba todavía que me renace. For the bomberos. A little gift for the Cepeda family, your tuntun. Like a note bigger than anything. Singing on the wind, the essence of your presence enchants me. Your legacy and unbreakable spirit heals me. Your unforgettable rhythms haunt me, and like a melodic caress, it's always your bomba, always, always your bomba that brings me back to life. Oh my goodness, folks, I'm in love with this music. Mijo over here, Carlos, what can I say about him? He just takes me to another planet. You take me to another planet, compa. You just are awesome. You know, this last piece that we're going to do, I'm going to let him solo out on this. I wrote this, I was inspired to write this by Eric Jacobson, dear friend of mine, the leader of the Electric Squeeze Box Orchestra, who I've been honest to work with, and it's on Eric's CD. It's called One Note at a Time. Eric's CD is called Eric Jacobson Sextet +3, and this is on there, but we're going to do a different version of it. The poem is called I Cry Creativity, you know, and it's a poem about, you know, what's happening today. And, you know, sometimes we artists, we get shortchanged and people tell us about, you know, what we don't give society. And they forget to tell what we do give society. And the truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for music and the creative arts, I don't know what would happen to planet Earth. So this basically, I Cry Creativity. Thank you, Eric Jacobson, for the inspiration. And thank you all of you out there in Zoomlandia for supporting us and for being there. And when we finish, I want to tell you, I don't want you to go anywhere, because coming back in maybe 20 or 30 minutes with this amazing group of youngsters, the Genius Wesley Trio, who are just off the hook. I mean, they're going to put some vitamin B flat on you. And hopefully Carlos and I have done it so far. So once again, if you have not donated to help us keep feeding our families and paying our rent, please do that now. And support Bird and Beckett Books, because they do so much to support the Bay Area's music and art scene. And support these businesses who've been hurting really bad. All these moms and pop stores have been trying to get it together, and support each other. Be kind to each other. So without anything more from me, I'm going to let him open it up with what happens when he gets hold of his hands on this I Cried Creativity. Carlos, what you got to say? You let me know when to come in. I cried creativity. I was asleep. I say, I was asleep, secure and comfortably asleep, dreaming of peace and love, hypnotized by a mirage of unity and togetherness, dancing away demons of war and hate in what I thought was a land of plenty, in what I'd been taught was the land of the free. And then I opened my eyes, was slapped in the face by a wide-awake nightmare, a senseless suicidal madness, a world of selfishness, insatiable gluttony, and rampant homelessness, created by short-sighted masters of fantasy, so used to dealing from their deck of unfulfillable promises that they can no longer feel anything real. I opened my eyes, and I found myself sadly looking at those who are empty inside and seem to think they can fill their emptiness with all kinds of pretty things and tons of money and more 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 money and the newest, prettier things, and all I could do was cry. Cry for those blindly drunk on greed as I write and smile as another poem is born. A poem about all the beauty the greedy can no longer see. I believe if we artists could only bottle our tears, no one would ever die of thirst. Our tears would become unifying melodies, creative, love-filled, organic, harmonious medicine, and we would become an inspiring army of creativity. And we just might be able to heal the world, one note at a time. One note at a time, 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 one note at a time. Wepa. My brother by another mother, my son, Mijo Carlos Reyes. What? He's absolutely awesome. So when you hear that name, you got to check him out. He's got CDs and everything. Go to the web, go to Facebook, check him out. And as I said, don't you go anywhere except to drop some money in that little thing they have on the Zoomlandia thing there, and help us to pay our rent. And we're going to be back in just a second with the wonderful Genius Wesley Trio. So what can I say? Thank you for your ears. Thank you for your time. Tell everybody we're not finished. We're going to come back with some hard jazz with some of the strongest youngsters in the Bay Area. Carlos, I love you madly, compay.
Gracias, mamá.
And folks out there in Zoomlandia, be kind to each other. It's the only way we're going to get through this.
Yeah. Let me speak to him real fast here and tell him the scoop. The scoop is, I think I just want to speak on behalf of all of you to say how much we love the poetry and the sensitivity and the sensibilities of Avotcja. You know, she's meant a lot to everyone that knows her. And any good friend of Avotcia's is a great friend of ours, and we're so happy. And Carlos, thank you for making that part of the evening so wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so she's right. We're going to take a little break, set up the band. So you all better check back in 20 minutes. It might take us about that. It might take us a couple minutes longer, but better check in 18 just in case we're ready to go, because we're anxious to keep it rolling. So be here, stay here. Thank you for coming here. Yeah. Right on. Thank you. Thank you, Avotcja. Happy birthday, Avotcja. Phase 1.
And this face mask I'm wearing is made by my sister by another mother, Nancy Harp. So what can I say? Oh. Here.
Okay, I'll take it off. Okay, great. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. All right, thank you for coming back. We'll give you a second to settle in because I'm sure you were on the other side of the room thinking, they're going to start soon, aren't they? But we had to get everything nicely in position, so we're going to have a nice, beautiful set of Avotcja with the Genius Wesley Trio. And she'll introduce the musicians, when the time comes. So I won't do that, but we're so happy to have you here for Avotcja's birthday, almost birthday. And we're going to have a birthday just happened a little while ago concert at the end of the month. That'll be on the 30th with Modupe, so that's going to be special. But I'm going to get out of the way and let Avotcja and the band take it. I'm going to carefully put this mic on her mic stand, so bear with me. And then you got some music coming. So happy birthday, Avotcja. Thank you all for coming out to help her celebrate. Let's put this in here. Put your head back.
It's an honor to be here, and I'm so grateful you chose to hang out with us. Genius Wesley Trio. And I'm so honored to be with him again. We did a gig a little while ago, and it was awesome. So it's really a pleasure to be with them one more time. So Genius Wesley is a young man whose mama must have had an epiphany and named him Genius at birth, and he's living up to that name. And also he has some ingenious gentlemen working with him, the wonderful Luis Manuel Gonzalez Peralta and Isaac Covey. They are no jokes themselves. Also, before we even get started, I want to thank Eric Whitterton and Burden Beckett Books for what they do to help keep the arts alive here in the Bay Area. Angie Bennett, who's on the sound. Edward Pollard, my neighbor who helped me get here, and I'm so grateful. My brother from another mother, Bob Shang, who is a major photographer here in the Bay Area. Look him up, Hsiang, if you want some great photography. And so I want to also remind folks that Carlos Reyes, who we did the first set together, he's going to be at Yoshi's Jazz Club in Oakland with his group on August the 27th. So you definitely want to check him out. So without anything more from me, why don't we have a piece from Genius Wesley and the trio? Wesley Trio. Luis Manuel Gonzalez Peralta, Isaac Covey, Genius Wesley. And with that, I think we're going to go to Naima next. My feet stand in dreams, run circles around the lakes in my mind, climb tropical hillsides inside forests, hidden behind the tenements and dance all sweaty, a passionate urban exorcism, wrapped in cortijo magic. My feet swim through concrete and drink the wind. They sing low-down blues tunes and pray with jazz bands. My feet are poems, every inch on my road a chant, a sacred inspiration, a song, and with every step I take, I create and 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 create. I can feel trains smiling in the cosmos there. Oh, the Genius Wesley Trio. Look at here. You know, this genius, I met him when he was a little teeny bopper, and now he's a grown man with a beard and all that kind of stuff. So I figured this was the perfect place to do this. When I wrote this piece called The Rhythm in Us for the Amanakota West African Dance Company, and we've done it before, so I want him to open with a drum solo, and then I'm going to do this poem called The Rhythm in Us, because I think it's important for us to remember that we're just vibrations, you know, and that without the rhythm of all these atoms and molecules and what have you that put us together, we don't exist. So with that, Genius Wesley, what you got to say? in the beginning. In the beginning, I say, in the beginning, there was only the voice of rhythm. The metrical vibrations of the wind caressing a cocoa palm, a slow, never-ending, predictable pulse, ear candy. The reliable heartbeat of the cosmos, it was God's dance, the medicine in every mother's lullaby, the healing, the rhythm, the deliberate, inexplicable beauty of nature's hand. A mysterious, unnameable something, the hidden but ever-present cadence of a desert storm forever singing to us. It has always been the rhythm keeping us alive from the beat of our hearts to the core of the drum. The djembe and the junjun dictated the sway of our sisters' hips and the sensual swagger of our youngsters' walk. Our children strutted their stuff like peacocks, flashing rhythmic wings of go-go quee and rah-rah arrogance. We were wealthy with the joy of creativity and had no need for superficial supplements. It was all about the rhythm, the unifying power of the sound that flowed through us. Our organic music had guts enough to be fun, was nutritional, therapeutic, and shamelessly proud. In the beginning, before the concrete clogged our ears, before the foul scent of plastic suffocated the perfume of flowers, even the insects in the trees sang to us, and all the rhythms of the universe called us by name. Way back before hungry city lights gobbled up the stars, we moved with the grace of masters on the balafon, kept time in 100 different languages, and had our egos put in check by the berimbau, bata drummers, and the agogo. It was the rhythm that looked after us, and even when the going got rough and they took away the drum, our fathers went into labor and gave birth to steel drums, put us to bed fortified by the spiritual intensity of the mbira, wrapped us in the storytelling prowess of the kora and ngoma, told us with a sabah to keep on dreaming with our eyes wide open and never forget it was the rhythm. It's always gonna be the rhythm. It's always gonna be the rhythm, our heartbeat, the master key, the symmetrical healing tonic, a mystical rhythmic power that clears a healthy path to total unity, sings non-stop to the core of our soul. This drum call, I say this drum call calling us home, and we are reborn in dance. Genius Wesley. Come on, folks. Genius Wesley. I know out there in Zoomlandia that you can hear him. Genius Wesley. Let's call the trio back and see what you got. And then let's get into some blues. Gonzalez Peralta, Isaac Covey, Genius Wesley. Oh, straight no chaser. Yes, indeed. I want to come back with a thing, we just finished talking about all over the country, Tulsa, and I don't want to take anything away from that horror, but California can't get away squeaky clean, so I want to bring you to Russell City, which was our closest to Tulsa. And we're going to go to some blues because Russell City was many things, but especially a blues capital. So I'm waiting for you guys to maybe give you some kind of a shuffle kind of blues. Oh yeah. Call this Russell City, a place we can't let time erase. Russell City was unique, a world unto itself, unforgettable, irreplaceable, a curse and a blessing all wrapped up in one. It was home to a Danish settler who gave refuge to black folks running from the racist strangulation of the deep American South. It was home to freedom-seeking Portuguese, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Filipinos, all looking for a better day, a different way. Russell City was poor, unincorporated, and had no support from the county or state, but for the folks that lived there, it was a country paradise hidden in plain sight, where everybody looked after each other and took care of what needed to be taken care of because all they had was each other. Russell City was also a blues haven. I mean, you hadn't paid your dues till you played your blues on the stage at the Russell City Country Club, and they came from everywhere just to experience its magic. There was blues dripping like sweat all off the walls, climbing up into the soul of dancers' legs. That blues came alive in the dirt neath our feet, and it was like a cavalcade of stars at this little club in the country. Everyone, I say everyone from Big Mama Thorne to T-Bone Walker, Etta James, Lowell Folsom, L.C. Good Rocket Robinson, Juke Boy Bono, John Lee Hooker, Sugar Pie DeSanto, and even the great Ray Charles, who had cars lined up for blocks when he came up to town. But then big money snakes started appearing all over the place. I said they started appearing all over the place. And unexplained fires, they started appearing all over the place. The town of Russell City was immediately declared a disgraceful blight, a slum, a squalid mess in the press. In 1963, eminent domain was declared and all residents forced to relocate. To make room, they said, for an industrial park. The last forced to move was Ernesto Nava, who just happened to be the son of Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa, whose home was coincidentally burned down 2 hours after his evacuation. Russell City may have been poor and unincorporated, but it was home. A home that helped create the post-war American blues, and as a friend of mine said, created a Blaxican space where we felt safe. In a place filled with memories of community and Sunday mornings waking up to the neighborhood smell of chorizo and cornbread, and bittersweet flashbacks of a Northern California dream deferred. In a place we can't let time erase. I say a place we cannot let time erase, a place called Russell City. Play the blues. Have mercy. I was waiting for more, but you guys stopped on that one. Okay. So with that one, what are we doing for time here, Eric? I need to know. Okay, let's go for it. So let's do this one. I call this one Street Children of the Night, para los chiquititos de la noche en cualquier lugar. It's about all those street children, those street kids out 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, a time when musicians come home real late. And I'd see them out there where I was living in a part of East Oakland. And, when people are hungry, they get real dangerous. And they kept eyeballing my instruments when I was getting out of the car. So I wrote them a love poem. This was a love poem I wrote them, and I just wanted to win them over. And I'm grateful it did that. But a month after I wrote this poem, it wound up in the Street Sheet magazine, and it also wound up being recited by young musicians, street musicians, and poets all over the Bay Area. Got off the board downtown San Francisco, and this cute little chubby Chinese girl ran up to me, threw her arm around my waist, and said, "Grandma!" I said, "What on earth?" I thought she had lost her mind. But that child recited my poem. I wrote this. I have not learned this poem by heart. She recited the poem, the English, the Spanish, the Spanglish, off the top of her head, and blew my mind and changed my life. And I'll keep repeating this story until I don't have to anymore. She changed my life. She says, nobody ever says anything to us. Nobody ever talks to us. Thank you. And I guess I want to remind all you folks out there in Zoomlandia, these are our children. And I think we've forgotten something about what we're supposed to be doing. These are our children. So for those street children, I want to do this one, wrapped around taste of Mongo's, let's see, Afro Blue. Go for it. Chiquitito de la noche en cualquier lugar. Black and brown children of the night que ya no saben nada de jugar. Mis niñitos de la calle, queridos morenitos whose ideas of having fun got swallowed by the darkness. If I could, I would wrap you in sunshine. I would hold you close and fold you in these arms and caress whatever's left of the child in you with lullabies. I would like to cover every inch of you with home-cooked self-esteem. And better than sales by contest, I want to fill the hole that hurt dug. Take my hand and I'd swim defiantly through the fires of hell for you and with you through the movement and disrespect. I'm a hard-headed kind of lady and I just can't see myself giving up on you. Somos lo que somos, you and I, para nosotros somos todo lo que I've been fused together by history. Por lo bonito y los sueños robados, like spiritually in the maze of our destiny. Oye, mis negritos, mis pequeños callejeros, los necesito. The truth is, I know I need you. Yo sin ti soy nada. And if I had a chance, I'd refuse to turn you loose. Till you were so in love with yourself that self-destruction would disintegrate under the pressure of your presence. And you were so secure in my love for you and so sure of the splendor you had become that even the sun would lay aside his arrogance just to get a chance to reflect the brilliance of your essence and bask in the bold truth of your integrity. En ti, vive en verdad real y yo sin ti no existe ni un sendero de la esperanza. Oh, say, can they see you? My beautiful wild lotus flowers. If I could, I'd bathe you in a sea of rosewater. I'd convert your waves of pain into an ocean of pride and faith. Y yo te pido, dame un chance. Please, please, please let me in. I promise you the very best I can, even if I have to wake the dead and conjure up our ancestors' breath. I'm not too proud to act a fool. Get down on my knees and howl and scream and beg all the spirits of goodness to intervene to blow away the fog and dismay and distrust by santificatu lágrimas and dissipate the rage burning behind your eyes so together we can wash away the centuries of emasculating doubt and defeminizing lies and have a little fun and learn to bring a brand new game called demolishing walls of self-hate. Children of the night. I say children of the night means niñitos de la calle. I want stubbornness of my love to help you turn on all the lights inside your soul. Tu eres mi sangre. I will not allow the streets of any city to steal you. You like a lotus blossoming in the night, mis queriditas almas de mi existencia. I will not let the cesspool of Fulinga make a fast food happy meal of your dreams. Chiquito de la esquina, you are our only wealth, you are the most beautiful part of me, and I'm not about to let you go. I will not permit the hungry stupidity of greed to feed you to the streets without putting up a fight. Amorcito perdido de la noche. If I could, I would pave your path with stardust and massage your mind with a steady diet of just how important you are. Make sure you know you're too damn important that the world just throw you away. It's my job to remind you on a daily basis this crazy old lady is here to stay. I say I'm still here, staying and praying and praying and saying and saying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. You let me in, mis cielitos, negritito de la noche. I'm talking to you. Can you even hear me? It's all tomorrows that you're throwing away. De la calle. I'm still waiting, a stubborn old lady with a heart full of love, standing in the shadows. I'm waiting on who you could be. I'm waiting on who you could be, waiting for you to finally see me, waiting to wrap you in a blanket of sunshine. Yes, indeed. Oh, my God. Manuel Gonzalez Peralta and Isaac Covey and Genius Wesley. Wow, that was smoking. Look at here. I got a couple more for you. This one, thing that's made very popular by Billie Holiday, but was written by a school teacher in the Bronx, Abel Meerpol. he couldn't even write it under his own name during the time that he wrote it. He wrote it under the name of Lewis Allen, Strange Fruit. And when he originally wrote it, it was a poem. And then he wrote the music for it, and his wife did it first, and then Billie Holiday did it, and then you know the rest of that story. It became like an anthem. And so I'm going to do it like a poem. And Mr. Meerpool, I am forever grateful for the courage it took for you to write it during the time when you wrote it. Anyway, I'm going to let Isaac take us somewhere with this amazing bow of his. Southern trees. Southern trees bear a strange fruit. Blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, and the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for a tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop, a bitter crop, a bitter crop, a bitter crop, a bitter crop. Strange fruit, southern trees. I say, southern trees bear a strange fruit. I say, southern trees bear a strange, strange fruit. Blood. Blood, blood, blood on the leaves. I say blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South. The bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, and the sudden smell of burning flesh, burning flesh, burning flesh. Black bodies swinging, black bodies swinging, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Here's a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for a tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop. Blood, blood, blood. for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for a tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter crop, 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 strange fruit, strange fruit, strange fruit, strange fruit, hanging from the poplar trees, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees, strange fruit, strange fruit, strange fruit. Strange fruit. Southern trees bear strange fruit. Southern trees bear strange and bitter fruit. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Wow. I want to thank you, Abel Mirapol, for your courage to write this amazing piece. And I want to apologize for our beautiful Isaac Coyle. I have a typo in here, and I've been messing up his name since the beginning of the set, which has not changed the brilliance of his musicality. So thank you for the wonderful Genius Wesley trio. Manuel Gonzalez Peralta, Isaac Coyle, and Genius Wesley. I am kind of prehistoric when it comes to typing. So what can I say? Do we have time for one more? You do. Okay, folks, I want to thank all you folks out there in Zoomlandia. I hope that you have already donated, because that's how, musicians survive. I mean, little minor details such as food, and rent and what have you. But I want to thank you all for checking in and hanging out with us. And I want to thank you for supporting the arts and supporting Bird and Beckett Books, who's been so wonderful to, to keep this art alive all during this. And all you folks out there, please go and support the moms and pop stores all over. They have been going through hell for the last year and a half. And those who do remain can't survive without your help. And also I want to remind everybody out there in Zoomlandia that Carlos Reyes is going to be at Yoshi's Jazz Club with his group in Oakland, and it's going to be on August the 27th. And I know that Genius Wesley and they have a gig, but I'm going to get Eric to tell you about that in a moment. But first we're going to do this piece, finish this last piece. I wrote this piece after a certain creature got in, and my worst nightmare was proven true on, I woke up that November. No, not, well, yeah, it was the day after the election, and my worst nightmare had come true. It's called I Know We Can, but so for folks who are young, they think this is all new, but I've been here through some very strange times. As I could say, this is almost my 80th birthday, so I've seen some strange cycles go down, and we've gotten through it before. And the only reason we got through it before was because good people holding on to each other and remembering that we can get through it. So please, whatever you can do to share that love and to hold on to each other so we can get through this one, we can do it. So this is how I know we can. And I wrote it so that I couldn't forget, so that you can't forget. I want once again to thank these brilliant young men here who I have loved since the very first time I heard them. And when I met Genius as a very young guy, I was in love with him right off the bat. And I'm in love with his mother and father, who had the courage to name him Genius Wesley, and Isaac Coyle, who Genius introduced me to. Brilliant young man. And Luis Manuel Gonzalez Peralta. Please, when you hear their names, go out and support them and support the arts, because without you, we don't exist. And without us, I don't think you're going to do too well either, because that vitamin B flat will cure what ails you. So with that, let's do this one. You're going to just have some hard bop for me? We have been here before. We've sang in the face of the Klan and danced with feet all bloody on the decks of slave ships, on the longest walk on freedom marches in jail cells and concentration camps. Oops, ghettos that we're supposed to call our home. We know this place, the concrete jungles, the reservations, a curse of and by the uncivilized, who have forgotten the healing beauty of grass and trees and the gift of clean water to drink, and have lost their ability to love. We are familiar with the senseless mayhem of perpetual law, the addictive lust for power, the intoxication of bloodlust, and those who prefer the inhumane sacrifice of their souls as they try to steal ours. Yes, I say yes, we have been here before. We know the hanging tree, the rope, the rape of our bodies, our cultures, the theft of our songs and our children. We have swam through the slime of misogyny. We have been here. We know racism, greed, and stupidity have no conscience, and it's only a matter of time for the insatiable self-destruct before they devour each other. We've been through it all before, and we can get through it all again. We just have to be careful, very, 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 very careful. The madness of this narcotic is contagious. We must not get drunk on the stench of this problem, this poison. We have too much work to do. We must turn this suicidal drug into fertilizer and let our tears fall down on deserts, glaciers, and jungles, and run down the faces of good-hearted people everywhere. I say, run down the faces of good-hearted people everywhere, and I know you're there. Hey, I cry and 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 I cry. My tears come down like a waterfall, an unending waterfall for all the victims of civilization. We have been here before, and together we can heal. I know we can. I know we can. I know we can. I know we can. Genius Wesley, Isaac Coyle, Luis Manuel Gonzalez Peralta, and you out there, thank you so much. I also want to thank Angie Bennett for the sound, Edward Poland, my neighbor, for getting me here, my brother from another mother, Bob Shum, major photographer in the Bay Area. Thank you all so much. My name is Avotcja. It's always an honor to be here with you. My 80th birthday is coming up on the 25th, and on the 30th I'll be back with my group. Please come and support us.
Avotcja Avotcha's birthday. I hope you all have been telling yourselves nice Avotcha stories all evening long. So come on the come back to the stream on the 30th, and we'll see what an 80-year-old fire can ignite. All right, thank you, Avotcha. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Angie, on the board. Thank you, Edward, on the transportation. Thank you, Bob, on the video. Thank you, Nancy, on the good spirit and the great shirt. Yeah. Oh, it's a mask, isn't it? Very nice. All right. Thank you for being here. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Happy birthday, Avotcha.